Hello and welcome to Smitty's. I am a wood cutting fanatic who loves to run a chainsaw. I run alcohol chainsaws, ported chainsaws, I race chainsaws, and I even run the occasional vintage. Now remember, I cannot do this without you. You're everything to the channel, so please remember, subscribe, give that thumbs up, leave that comment. Today, we are going to have a lot of fun. So, how you doing? I set the cookie pile on fire today. You can tell we're holding a flashlight here because it is well after dark. It's about 8 o'clock or so. But I wanted to show you something. See, yesterday was my birthday, and this flashlight was a birthday present from my mother. It's kind of an impressive flashlight. Can you see that? Look how perfect that circle is of light. Can you see that? It is like perfect. But it's kind of impressive how bright it is. You see that? Now this is the wide field view of the light. Watch what happens here when I take her to like spotlight mode. Check that out. Let me get out of the smoke here. That is every bit. I mean, if you've been to my house, we're pushing 100 yards right there to that tree line down there. That is impressive. You guys have seen these on TV. Look at the tree line. Yeah, these have been all over TV, and it's kind of hard to believe. You know, I think my mom saw it on TV and ordered it. I was like, you know what? You know what I mean? One of those things. You can see the smoke through the light. Now watch what happens when I go to start pulling it to a wider field of view. Kind of lose some distance there. See that? That's all the way back. So now we can't see the full distance, but you can kind of adjust how much, you know? She uses a rechargeable battery. I know, it's just a flashlight. It's kind of impressive how bright this sucker is. There's a fire, some test dogs. How about that? I bet you I could use this for some cool night shots on video. Gives me some ideas, you know? But I thought I'd share this with you. And, I mean, you get an idea how big this light is? It's not that big. This up here is the button. And it's actually got like 4 different modes. So that's normal. You hit it again, it goes a little less bright. Hit it again, it's less bright. Then it starts strobing. Then it does the SOS thing. Then it's off. Then it's back on full brightness. Yeah. I'm happy. I never thought I'd be this happy about a flashlight, you know? So, yeah, if you guys are interested, this is the flashlight. So, yeah, if you guys are interested, it comes with a charger because the battery that's in it is rechargeable. But it also has an adapter that will accept 3 AAA batteries. So you can choose whether or not you want the rechargeable battery or regular batteries. So, yeah, enough about a flashlight. You know, I just thought it was cool, and you guys might like to see that. I've always been a traditional mag light kind of guy. And this thing will outperform my mag lights. So, yeah. So now on with what we're getting ready to do here. I swear, the hair just doesn't want to come back. I don't know what's going on. But on to So the 385, it's actually kind of frustrating for me. I know the exhaust roof is set to a point to where the RPM should be where I want them to be. It's the rest of it that's not quite there. And there's a possibility that it's just my ignition timing, because I haven't advanced the ignition timing. There's so many possibilities. But I'm stuck because I have to wait for parts to show up, because I want to see what the air filter mod does before I do any ignition timing adjustments. That's like the 50. I still haven't done an ignition timing adjustment to it because, you know, it's running so good. So, you know, but I'm still going to do it. That's just the only reason that I haven't done it yet, though, is because it's running so dang good, you know. But this one here, it might need one. You know what I mean? I got a feeling the air filter is going to give it a little bit. Ignition timing is probably, I'm hoping, gives it a little bit more. But I don't think I'm going to be able to settle on a decision on the port work until I do those two things. So right now I'm just waiting on parts to get here so we can do the air filter mod, and then we'll do ignition timing and make our final assessment at that point. Because right now I'm bouncing all over the place and I shouldn't be. I need to do those two things before I make any decisions, you know? So the 385 is going on the shelf until the parts show up. They've been ordered, so they should be here this week sometime. So hopefully next weekend I get to work on getting this set up, as long as the parts show up in time. I think I ordered them on Friday. So as long as everything gets here in time, I'll be able to test it, you know, next weekend. But I think the velocity stack might be coming out of China, so it might be the weekend after. So it's going to be a week or two until we get to do any more testing with this saw. So in the meantime, I got a week or two without anything happening. So what am I going to do? I don't know. I got ideas though. So I have 2 saws sitting here. 3 saws actually, but there's 2 here that I'm getting ready to build. Both of them are brand new, never been fired. But I also got this Pull & Pro I want to do, and I want to get this Homelite knocked out. So which one do we do? You know what I mean? I feel like I should do the Homelite, just because he's been waiting so long. But I still have a couple of months until I hope to hand deliver it. I'm hoping he shows up at Hopper Stock and I can hand deliver it at that time. So technically I would have a couple of months. So what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? See, I can start the G, yeah. So I could start the G366 build or something, you know? Still deciding. But I still got a new saw here. This one brand new saw that I got to build, I don't have the tooling for it. It's over $200 for the tooling, and I haven't purchased it yet. So that's the only reason that one brand new one hasn't been started yet. But, you know, the 366, yeah, I could easily start on it. And the Pull & Pro, I mean, it's sitting there. I could start on it. Or I could get into the Homelite. Choices, choices, choices. Now, I could also tear in that Johnson Red because I feel like a small tweak will help that saw. The 50, I feel like a small tweak would help that saw out. You know, I'm literally at that point where I'm looking at the closet of all the stuff and I can't decide. I just need to grab something and get started, you know what I mean? Now, whenever I do tear into the Homelite, I'll just show you guys every little detail on that one. Because it might be the last time I do one of these, at least for a long time. So if you're interested in these Homelite builds, I will show you all those details. In fact, I should just work on getting it knocked out. That way it's done. And then I can move on to other goodies. But hopefully by the time it's done, the 385 parts are here that we can move on with getting the air filter set up, getting the ignition timing set, figuring that stuff out, and deciding whether or not we're gonna, or deciding what we're gonna do in, in the tweaks, because I do have to disassemble that saw. Because now the 385 parts, I ordered bearings and seals and all sorts of stuff. None of it has come in yet, so it's basically on standstill at this point. Now the Homelite I keep mentioning is actually a VI-130. This is it. It's in really good shape. When I talked to the dude, he said it's got an air leak. So I can, do the seals while I'm working on it. It doesn't look like it's been ran a whole lot. I should just go ahead and tear into it right now, get started on it, get it knocked out. Which I might just go ahead and do. It's got a new fuel line on it, so it'll probably start right now, but I don't want to run it a bunch with an air leak, So, I think we'll do that. I think we'll go ahead and get started on his Homelite and work at getting it sorted out. Let's start off by pulling this muffler just to make sure it don't need a cylinder. So we do have a very light amount of scoring on this. Not unusual for Homelites, but I don't think it's enough to cause any issues. I think we'll be able to get it to run just fine. I just got to get it disassembled and build it this time. Which, if you haven't noticed, I'm just going to go ahead and get started on it. And let's get this Homelite built. Now, if you're not familiar with Homelites, this VI-130 or whatever, these saws are not one you can really do any machine work to. They just don't give you enough from the factory to do anything as far as machine work is concerned. So, you're kind of limited to what you can get out of them. But another issue with them is they are reed fed. And it's not that reeds are bad. It's just they're bad because it kind of limits you on what RPM you can achieve, because the reeds are so small that in order to try to go for a real high performance build, the modification would be so extreme you'd end up with this huge reed cage to try to get them to achieve a lot of RPM. Because in my experience with these, around 12, 13,000 RPM is where you start getting into reed flutter. And it kind of limits you what you can pull out of them. So about 10,000 RPM in the cut is about the best you're going to get out of them. Which, it ain't bad at all. 10,000 RPM out of a Homelite in the cut, So we'll be tearing into this here. I'll probably have it disassembled here in the next half hour. So let me tell you what, I'll just go ahead and stop the video here, tear it down real fast, and I'll be able to show you what she looks like disassembled. Alrighty, so the Homelite's tore down. The cylinder, it's good to go. I can tell that it has been started and not warmed up properly. You can see signs of that, but that is, it'll clean up. It'll be good enough, if you know what I mean. So most of the damage is right at the transfers, and I am going to be actually grinding at the transfers. And I think pretty much everything that might be damaged here will be gone by the time I'm done porting on it. So, shouldn't have any issues with the cylinder. The piston, though, it's toast. It's shot. It's not circle properly anymore. It's kind of like oval, egg-shaped or whatever, a little bit. So, it's toast. I was searching around in my parts, and it looks like I have two here that are viable options. This one appears to be aftermarket, and this one appears to be OEM. And I'm probably going to go with the OEM just because it's a little better shape. So we'll put in a good used piston. Let's make sure we got a good, make sure the cylinder's just not overly wore, you know, and you get a bunch of piston wear or piston slopping around in there, if you know what I mean. And no, she's a nice snug fit. Feels good. So yeah, we're good to go. We'll go with that combination there and toss his piston. The rings actually don't look that wore. The damage, I think, is just cold seizure type of damage. The rings, I think, are going to be able to be used. So we will salvage his rings. There's one of them. We could put new rings in it, but, you know, I don't need to. There's nothing wrong with these rings. I'm going to check the end gap of them here in a minute, but I can tell you this from looking at it. The saw don't have a whole lot of life on it. There's not a lot of paint wear on it. Like, you'll get a lot of paint wear at the bottom from sitting on the ground or whatever, you know what I mean? And so forth. There's not a lot of that. This ring is not agreeing with me. It's a little stuck. There we go. Yeah, it was stuck in there. A little bit of carbon buildup. So, can I get her out? Trying to extract a stuck ring. The bottom ring is stuck from all the carbon. There we go. Both the rings are out. Let's check it. Make sure the ring gap looks right. Yeah, that looks spot on. Check the other one. Yeah, we're golden. Yep. So, piston, cylinder, rings, we're good to go. The bottom end, I haven't checked yet. See what the bearings feel like. Bearings feel great. Nice and snug and very smooth. So, she had a little bit of an air leak. Made it difficult to run. We're going to throw new seals in it and all that stuff, and I bet you this thing will be a nice little saw. One of the issues with these saws, like I said before, is the reeds. If you look, let's see if we can get her to focus there. You see how there's a corner knocked off? These original reeds, if you port a Homelite, the original reeds will not last long. They will come apart. You will suck them through the crankcase, and you are in danger of destroying your saw if you run the factory reeds. I strongly encourage you to get this. This is an aftermarket reed cage. Let me show you real quick. These reeds, this reed here will actually it's an almost direct bolt on for the Super XL Autos, but you can extract the actual reed pedal and use it on these 130s and so forth. I believe the reed pedal is just a little bit longer. Yeah, I believe they are just a tad bit longer, but they will go on to this reed cage. You can make it work. The website is called Amain Hobbies. Yeah, it's spelled A. Main is like one word, so it's capital A, capital M, A-I-N, Hobbies. And you can find this reed cage on the website. It looks like this right here, like so. Get her to focus. This is what you're looking for. This will almost bolt directly onto the XL Autos. You have to swap out this part. It's easy. You just push down. That guy comes off. Then you put the XL Autos on. Simple as that. You know, the original XL Auto, but that's all you got to do to swap that out. These reeds are way better, especially if you suck these through the crankcase. They are not made of metal, and they will not fail anywhere near as fast as these. So if you port a Homelite, you must eliminate those factory reeds. They will not last. Not very long. I don't even think you'll get 40 hours worth of runtime on the saw. So be prepared that if you put these reeds in there, you need to get them out. So on with it. All I got to do now is swap out the piston, get a couple of numbers, and start porting on it. I'm not going to do that tonight. It's getting kind of late. So, you know, that's our next step to the process, is to get this guy ready to be ported. I'm going to clean it up, get some gaskets peeled off, which this gasket here is not agreeing with me. It's coming off in pieces, of course. But yeah, we're going to get this thing ported up here pretty soon and get it running. And then next, we'll get into one of these other saws. We'll just pick one and move on and on. Maybe my 385 parts will come in by the time this saw's done. So, yeah. Alrighty, so hey, we'll catch you on the next one. Later.